Please rewind this cassette.
Thank you for watching this video. Before we get started, I'd just like to shout out my channel on the side, Cable Classics. This is me and a group of some of my best friends watching movies late at night, and then I edit them together into short little highlight reels of the funniest and most entertaining parts, or some insight. So check it out. We've done Deep Blue Sea, Roadhouse, Fear, The Howling, Excalibur, and Sylvester Stallone's Over the Top, and there's plenty more to come. I'd really like this channel to reach a certain sub count and start to get a continued fan base, so if you can support it in any way, I'd really appreciate it, and please check out its Reddit page. Thank you. Blood Simple isn't only one of the best debut features ever made, it's more than that. It's borderline a perfect film in its slick simplicity and cruel undertones. It gets better every time I see it. The Coen brothers, out of the gate, show an ability to create novelistic sequences that are at odds with each other when it comes to the tone. Somehow their work is always funny, dripped in irony, but at the same time it all feels true, poetic, and most importantly, obsessive. Blood Simple along with Sam Raimi's Evil Dead are what I consider to be the two most important independent films of the 80s. Now, Blood Simple from a plot standpoint is an openly cliché neo-noir. However, the gimmick of the movie is rather strong. Everything is built around misunderstanding. We, the audience, know what's going on. We see the sequence of events in quite literal fashion. Not all the characters are there for these moments. This is where the Coens start having fun. So much of the conflict within this story could be fixed with a simple conversation or people just telling each other the truth. The whole thing feels like one big joke. But how did this happen? Certainly someone put more of the pieces together. This is unless their focus wasn't on the right things. A classic trope of noir is misguided obsessions leading you down a dark path. The characters of this movie are mostly obsessed with money. Something the Coens would go back to many times in No Country for Old Men or Fargo. How many awful things can happen over something that doesn't seem to carry much value when everyone's dead? Are the Coens saying something about greed and sin? Perhaps. I think you can look at it and interpret it in many different ways. But I'm not going to focus on the money, because I think it works just as a device to be a metaphor for something else. Money is change. Money is freedom. Money is security. All of these are things we often become obsessed with. Sometimes you build a future life for yourself in your head, and when reality doesn't suit the fantasy, you often delude yourself into thinking it could still happen if you just get that one lucky break. Life is what it is, not what you want it to be. When it's all said and done, the same thing happens to us all. If we jump ahead to the last scene of the movie, our female lead, played by Frances McDormand, thinks she's just shot her already dead husband, the abusive Marty. To her, this is a moment of victory. She overcomes her fears and took fate into her own hands. On the other end of the room, we hear laughter. She actually shot the hitman hired by her husband, who, of course, realized the humor of the situation. Then all of a sudden, the Coens decide to focus on water dripping below the sink. Emmett Walsh's character becomes hyper-focused on this drop of water that just stops. The delay is only seconds, but feels like forever. In my opinion, this is possibly the greatest closing shot of any movie ever. It's also in many ways the key to what the Coen brothers are all about. This drop of water is no different from the money. It's something to think about and to distract yourself from something else. The water drips, and we fade to black. This is obviously a visual metaphor for the Walsh character dying and moving on. The Four Tops hit single The Same Old Song plays over the credits, ironically signifying the theme of this movie's relationship to genre stories and their tropes. Why are the Coens and we, the audience, so obsessed with these stories? I think it's because not only does it entertain us, it helps us retool some of life's bigger struggles and put them into perspective. The truth is always looking right at us, but we're missing it. Similar to how the Coens love to make their characters complicated or confused to what's actually going on, even when it's all blood simple.